Hello, everyone. Hey, Jeff. Hey, RC. So excited to see you all here for our partner broadcast. We're going to get started shortly, but make sure you guys are chatting in on the comments as you're hopping in. Let us know you're here. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Denise. I hope you and Cindy are doing well. Happy New Year.
Hey everybody, welcome to 2025. Heather, also just doing a quick audio check, make sure that we are good. Let me know.
Hey, Ryan and Kendra. So excited to have you guys here. Your audio is perfect. And everyone, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. So if you guys need to refill that coffee or grab anything, you better do it now. I don't want you to miss a minute of today's content. Hey, Mike, welcome. We share your thoughts as well. We really hope all of our amazing partners out there in California are staying safe and well. The same for all of you and your families during this time. We're definitely glad if you're able to be on this broadcast that you've joined us today. Well, welcome everyone to our partner broadcast today. This is the first broadcast of 2025, so we are so excited to have you all kicking off the new year here with us today. And a very special welcome to our newest partners who are on their first broadcast. It's an amazing time to be coming on with us, and we're very excited to have you all here today. Now, there are 3 ways to watch the broadcast. For those of you who are new that might still be on the live streaming page, I do recommend heading on over to the YouTube. It does have the most interactive ability for communication in that chat box, which is really great during the call. It's also got the ability to kind of see other people's questions and things like that. Now, it's important that you're using that interactive ability because we do have the option for kit giveaways during our broadcast. And with that, you do have to be liking our Facebook page, subscribe to YouTube, and interactive during the broadcast. So that could be feedback, comments, questions, you name it in that chat box during the event today. So warm up those fingers and get them ready. There's also usually open Q&A sessions at the end of the calls or during the calls, depending on the content. So make sure you are using the chat box for the Q&A as well. We love to see that participation during the broadcast. Now, I did mention this is kicking off 2025. We're so excited to have you all here. Today's event is all about making massive commission potentials, game-changing opportunities, maybe even some new tools. So to tell you all about that, I would like to welcome on Ryan and Kendra Maddock. Ryan and Kendra, welcome to the first broadcast of 2025.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you so much. We're waiting for Heather to pull something up for us real quick.
So, all right, well, welcome to 2025, everyone. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Welcome. This year is going to be full of some exciting things. We're kicking it off with something very exciting today. And I feel like 2025 is going to be one of our record-breaking years. Don't you think so, Ryan?
I think so. Welcome to the next 12 installments of the broadcast. This seems so daunting to
Right?
all the production that goes into these. But we do have some exciting things for this year. And I think we're kicking it off in the right way, Kendra, that we're talking about commissions. We're talking about high earnings, and we're talking about how to be a high earner. And we're doing that because Kendra, people are in this critical time right now, or clients are, that they're really in a cash flow crunch. And we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. But,
Right. And how you fit into that and what being a part of today's broadcast and making that big image that we used for today, we got a lot of people inquiring saying, wait, $182,000 on one
single client transaction.
How is that possible? And I said, I'm not going to tell you, and the team's not going to tell you because you need to attend the broadcast.
Yeah.
That's why we put all our work into it. So
I think all too often, Kendra, we really do want to be the company for everyone. And I'm probably as guilty of this as anyone, in the aspect that I just really want to help all clients, but really there are certain types of clients that are going to yield you higher commissions. And those are the same clients, though, that are going through some challenges right now. And, as part of those challenges, Kendra, I guess I don't want to get ahead of myself, but really those are some challenges that for the next 3 months are really going to hit clients pretty hard. But Kendra, they're challenges for the client. They're not challenges. They're opportunities for you as a partner.
Us, and we need to be aware of them because it is the challenge that the client's facing that puts them in the correct mindset or the correct place and time where we're going to need to be there for them. And I've narrowed it down to specifically 6 different things that I think we're all going to agree on really put us in this crunch, this period of time. First one, inflation. I think we can all agree that cost increase and inflation is not going away. It is what it is, and it's only getting worse. Next, interest rates. They're high. They're going to stay high. We don't see an end in sight, hopefully with some changes. But right now we're still in that certain predicament, which means our clients aren't getting loans that they need. They're not, trading in vehicles for the business like they should and things like that. So it's affecting. We're still affected by staff shortages, whether it's still rollover from COVID or if this is something that's kind of here to last, it is affecting our clients and businesses. Additionally, competitive pressures. We've got a lot of smaller businesses coming in, trying to take away from established companies that have been around forever. And the last but not least I want to talk about is tax season. And tax season is the last one that we wanted to kind of round out these 6 things because tax season is where we're at right now. It's kind of the focus. And all of these issues evolve into one big
so
problem.
We know in the chat, give a little shout out if this is your first tax season. What that's going to do is going to help us know, when I say first tax season, not on planet Earth, your first tax season that you've been here offering specialized tax incentive, that's going to help us kind of curate the message a little bit so you understand. But Kendra, so that people kind of understand with these, tax season really creates some really big problems.
It does, but I want to touch on what all of these issues combined create. It creates an issue of cash flow.
Yeah.
So that's like the greater, more arching issue. All of these lead to cash flow. But again, like Ryan just said, tax season is where we're at. So that's what's on everybody's mind. So let's quickly talk about like some of the deadlines and helping us as we cover these really quickly. Keep in mind that the reason we're talking about these 6 issues and where we're at time-wise is because we want to understand where the mindset of our clients are right now.
I love Deb says, CPA here, been through over 30 tax seasons from the other side, though.
Nice.
I like that.
First deadline we're going to talk about January 15th. It's that estimated tax payment from last year that's due. And this is kind of looming over a lot of our clients right now because they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay it, honestly. That second one we're going to talk about is March 17th. That's the S Corp and partnership filings. Again, it's like right here. Like March 17th is not that far away. And it is sitting there kind of in everybody's mindset. And then we're all familiar with April, tax day. So it's individual C Corp estimated tax payment for first quarter 2025 is due. And if those 3 weren't big enough and enough pressure to sit on all of our client base's shoulders, I want to show you the actuality or what our clients are really looking at as they're moving through this first quarter. And it looks more like this, honestly. They are constantly being bombarded day after day, week after week with a filing or an estimation, or they got to get their W-2s out or their 1099s, or they have to figure out about their structure, and there's SUTA filing and there's liability issues. All of this combined with the 3 that we just talked about is the reality of the mindset of where our clients are right now.
You have to understand, and I want people to get this, Our tax management system doesn't help with the vast majority of these. It doesn't do anything with sales and use tax. It doesn't do anything with 941 filing, things like that. But what you do have to understand is, and Kendra, you just said the word that I want to focus in on, and that is the mind frame that people are in. And really what it comes down to is that there is no break for the next few months where clients won't have to face this frustration of two factors that I want to talk about. One is that they've really got to pay taxes, which, Kendra, is something that people don't like doing. So when you're constantly, even though some of these aren't paying taxes, they're doing forms so they can be charged taxes later.
Right.
You're in this thing where it's like, okay, as an entrepreneur, I just want to entrepreneur. Okay. I just want to make hats. I just want to get food going. I want to get more clients in. I want to get my hotel bookings up. These are the things that are on my mind. And it's kind of this thing that, like, Kendra, every given moment, I've been hit with this overwhelming feeling that, I have to pay taxes and I don't want to pay taxes. Okay. And the second part of this is I have to be in this constant situation where I'm reminded that the things that I did in 2024 were grossly inadequate. Okay. And I hear this over and over from business owners that are saying the same thing, is that I've never worked harder for less money. Okay. If any of you talk to a client, or maybe yourself as an entrepreneur, you're saying I've never worked harder for less money. I've pulled out all the tricks. I've done my best marketing. I've done everything. And yet I'm earning less than ever before. And now the IRS or the state agencies or the local agencies, they want more blood. Okay. And this is the time of year that a business owner gets reminded of this. And Kendra, they get reminded of this really in this aspect that there's no escaping it. Okay. If I'm a hotel owner, I'm busy, I'm doing marketing, I'm getting people going on, my bookings, I'm looking at everything. It's in the quiet though. And that's what you have to realize. It's in those quiet moments where you're on your drive home. It's those quiet moments when you're in the bathroom. It's in the quiet moments where you put the kids to bed or whatever the case is, where it starts to hit you how inadequate your efforts are. Okay. Because no matter what, you've got higher tax rates to pay than ever before. You're getting hit like never before. And your cash flow situation is bleak at best. So you're in this situation where you're saying, Kendra, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay this? And you're literally losing sleep over it.
And this is where you come in. This is where you as a partner advisor come into play. And that's why it's imperative for you to understand the mindset that Ryan just described of our client base and to be there to talk to them right now, especially like a lot of you are saying, but I've done that. I've reached out in the past. Like I told them about everything. I'm just waiting to hear back. No, especially if you've done that in the past.
Yeah.
You need to be out there. And we've talked about this and discussed it on multiple broadcasts, especially the last 6 months or so. Get out there physically, be in front of them, visually. And that makes a huge difference. Ryan, I know they're asking this question though. So how are we going to make that happen? Because we've been trying and they're working harder too, just like you mentioned. So how are they going to make that happen?
I'm going to turn to the audience again. And I have a question for everyone. So what is it that we sell in a word? One word, okay? Or two words. And I'll give you a hint. It's not tax credits, okay? So in one or two or three words, let's just see, what is it? Go ahead, don't be shy. Type in the comments right now. What is it that you think that we sell? If you were telling someone in one or two or three words, so let's see,
Here they come.
I think some people... So I like this. I want to start with this one. Jeff, really good. TMS, tax management system. And you're right, because it's going to lead to, something that's there. I like this one too. You're selling savings. I like that. You're going to save them money. Okay. You're selling relief. I like that. And I'm going to give credit to the first person that was out there and typed the word that I was looking for first. And that is cash flow. See, whether you start with we sell tax management system, really the end result is cash flow. That's if you say, hey, we're saving you money, we're providing relief, we're a funding source, all these things. Gabriella put it really well as well. We're selling money. Okay. At the end of the day, if you could go out there and say, hey, Kendra, I'd like to get your business 100 grand and I want to take 10 to 15% of it, depending on how I get it or the program. I'm going to get you 100. I'm going to take 10 grand. I'm going to get you 100. I'm going to take 10, 15 grand, whatever the case is. I don't have a problem
with that.
You have to understand that in essence is what you're selling. You're selling cash flow. Okay. And we'll talk more in a little bit about how to have that dialogue. But at the end of the day, you've got to understand that if you walk in and you make your primary sales technique tax credits, this is complicated. And this is where they're going to say, well, I got to get my CPA involved. No, you've got to realize that what you're really selling at the end of the day is cash flow. You're putting money in their pocket and we take a portion of it. Our vehicle or our mechanism of doing that are tax credits. But our end product that we're selling are these what's on the screen right now. It's cash. That's the end product.
When we were doing our kind of run through too, you'd mentioned something that I want to make sure to bring up. There was a way that you said, there was one little short script that you said was the best way to do that, because it is hard anymore. It seems hard to get in and kind of get through that initial, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Like that. And you had the easiest verbiage. What did you say? You said, just start by saying,
yeah. How are things going?
Yeah. Okay. That was as simple. And when Ryan said that, we were all like, oh yeah.
You just
I guess
ask,
that is that simple.
No matter what it is, I'm going to tell you, if you're talking to a business owner and you ask them, how are things going? You will end to one of these pain points. And there's a few more answers I really like here. Jim said working capital. Forgive me, I glance at these names. So if I get it wrong, Lorna says help. I actually really like that.
Help, yes.
And then I liked this one too. Peace of mind. Okay. And so when I look at this, cash flow, flexibility, peace of mind, cash flow improvement, what you're really doing, you've all come up with largely the same answer, just different ways of saying it. And Heather, ditch the slide just for a second. At the end of the day, if I'm sitting down and I'm talking to someone, I can ask anything. We've done trainings on this before, but hey, Kendra, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
It's going good. How's 2025 treating you so far?
Busy.
Yeah.
And lots of, just trying to kick the year off right and make sure first quarter is where we need it to be with money and everything. So
yeah, it didn't take long. We're there. Let me go a personal route for a second. Hey, how's it going? You got your last kid off to college, I saw on Facebook.
Yeah,
so that's
finally.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's expensive, but they've all gone.
We're to money already. Okay, you'll be there. So you run into someone at the grocery store. This is super easy. These prices.
It's crazy.
We're to money. Guy, this isn't hard. Okay. So to teach you kind of the formula a little bit, my ADHD is like tripping out there. So you can go to the next slide. So, there we go. When you're talking to someone, if you go in and you're just getting into tax credits, you're getting into something complicated, then it feels salesy. But if you would just stop and talk to people, I promise you that within moments of a dialogue, you'll end up on expense, cash flow, worry, all these other things. One of those
6 issues that we talked about at the opening of the broadcast.
Yeah, I can't find people. Oh, I can't find people. Everybody's so expensive these days. Okay, this is like, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Well, this is like 3 degrees of cash flow. No matter what, if you start talking to people, you will get there quickly. Now, from there, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? I'll teach you that script here in a little bit. But at the end of the day, you'd say, oh, well, we actually help companies find money. But that's the easy bridge. Now, Kendra, we talked a little bit about, people making $182,000 on a single transaction. This isn't, hypothetical. This isn't, can't be done. This isn't pie in the sky. I have been guilty, I think, in the past of sharing a lot of the stories of everyday clients, the owner that owns a single gas station, because I really want you to understand what we can do for everyday clients. But Kendra, in order for someone to make 180 grand on a single transaction, how are we going to do that? What do we do to get to that?
Well, obviously we're going to have to narrow our focus. And by doing that, you hear all these analogies in the past, like the sniper type, like narrowed focus, you get right on your target. And so that's what we need to do to be able to do this. And we're going to talk about what that means for you right now.
Yeah, for some of you, you might understand. Maybe you've got a premium product, like an insurance product or something that pays you $182. It's a dental override, and you get $182 a year for every client you get into that product. You need 1,000 clients.
Yeah.
Now, the good side is you can find these clients everywhere. They're easy to sign up. They're probably decent to retain, but you need 1,000 of them to make 180 grand a year. Okay, or you could have 100 if you had a product that you made $1,800 on. Now you're talking a different type of policy. Well, now you need 100 clients. Okay, much easier to do. It's still an easy sale probably, but it takes a little more time than the kind of client you make $182 on. But what we want to talk about today is the single client. Okay, what's the individual client that you can make 180 grand on? What does that look like? How are you getting it in front of them? What's it going to do? And Kendra, that's the client that I want to focus on, because that's going to get me in front of everybody. Now, historically, when we've talked about clients, many of you have seen, go ahead and go to the next slide. Many of you have seen this over and over again. You've heard me say, who's our client? Well, Kendra, it's every single employer in America, and it's every commercial property owner. And that's still true. We're not raising our thresholds today. You can still go out there and find the employer that has 1, 2, 3, 9 employees, and you can earn a commission on them. You can get them some money, and therefore you'll get some money. You can go out to any person that owns a single gas station location. You get them some money, and you'll get them some money. Okay, that hasn't changed. But today, obviously, Kendra, that theme of narrowing our focus, this is what we want to do. We want to focus on the big commission and what's going to get us there.
Right. It's interesting that we started from there, because this is actually that slide. But to do that, it's still those two categories. But when we're talking about the employers, we're going to focus on a specific type of employer. And today we're going to talk about that being manufacturers. And you guys know that over time, we've talked about how manufacturers are literally our best client. Top of the notch. They qualify for everything. They're continuous, year after year, they're annual. And there's a couple other things though. They tend to have a larger payroll, which means obviously a bigger credit, which means more money in your pocket, significant workforces, what have you. Unlike a lot of other types of businesses, manufacturers tend to continue to improve and innovate, which means that they're constantly being able to qualify for those R&D tax credits year after year. It also builds that long-term relationship. They tend to own their facilities, which means cost segregation. They tend to do WOTC, because we talked about the fact that they have these big workforces. And one thing that's so great is that most of you are already working with these types of clients, or you're working with vendors. You have connections that are already in these industries. They're easy to find. Like every area has a local economic zone that's full of manufacturing. We know how to find them. And these clients understand how to maximize cash flow, the importance of maximizing cash flow. And they're constantly looking for a way to do that. And so when you combine all of those different factors, manufacturing is where we're going to focus when it comes to the employer side of things.
But not just any manufacturers, a certain size manufacturer. Okay. Now don't freak out about this number, 1,000 employees. Listen, we're not talking about Coca-Cola or Nike here. Okay. In fact, when we were talking about this in an internal sales meeting and we were talking about size, I love one of the account managers had a really good way of saying it. And they said, I just look for any parking lot that can hold about 200 to 300 cars. Okay. Because the manufacturers often run 3 shifts. And so I thought that was the most brilliant. You drive down your industrial parkway and you're going to see companies like this all the time. Now I'm going to say again, Kendra, can we go out there and help a manufacturer that has 100 employees? Absolutely. You're going to get them some money, and therefore you're going to make some money. But what I do want to say, so let me try to do this scale for a moment. So we've got companies that have at least 1,000 employees, manufacturers, I'm sorry. And then we have the upper echelon, the companies that are largely serviced by the big 4 accounting firms. Everyone else is working with them, that kind of stuff. We can help people below that line. We can help people above that line. But I want to talk about Heather, go to my other camera for a second. I want to talk about this sweet spot right there. There are 8,600 manufacturers in this sweet spot. They have more than 1,000 employees, but they're not really at that mega level, where they're a big company that is being serviced likely by, a Big Four accounting firm. And so those are the companies that I want to focus in on because, Kendra, let's take a look at 1,000 employee company. This is a plastics manufacturer in Texas. They have, around it was like 9 something. Their first year benefit was $5.4 million. That's first year. Okay. Now that means that your first year commission on that was $182,000. So congratulations. Forgive me, I don't remember your name, but whichever advisor has the plastics and recycling company in Texas, you're the inspiration for our thumbnail this month. Okay. Because, I looked at this now, Kendra, that's $182,000 first year. That's
Right.
just the upfront commission.
Right. We're not talking about what the annual residual would be on this client because they tend to be evergreen and they're getting renewed annually, like we talked about earlier. The annual renewal on this would be about $47,000. So I'm totally fine with getting that every year after I've gotten a huge chunk of change up front too.
Now, listen, if you get in there and it's a 700 employee company, then maybe you get them $4.5 million. Maybe you walk away with 150. I don't think anybody's going to be saying, hey, the thumbnail said 182 and I went out there and did this. Listen, at the end of the day, what we're showing you how to make 150, 200 grand in a single transaction, but at the same time to build lifetime residual. Now, I can attest to this personally. I've got clients that are over 15 years old that pathetically I haven't really touched since I brought them in. I'm just not a good account manager. You know what they do? They just pay every year. First quarter of every year, we redo their credit. And you start looking at these. And guys, this is where you wake up one day and you want to talk about true financial freedom. It's not every year I'm going to go get 1 or 2 clients, make 150, 200 grand on those transactions. And, that's a nice addition to my income. No, how'd you like to wake up? Let's say this year in 2025, you had 2. Well, that means that in 2026, when you wake up, you're already 6 figures on your R&D book already. Okay. You don't do anything. You don't have to go back out there. You don't have to work referrals. You don't have to do anything. Fast forward, do 2 more in 2026. Come on, guys. In addition to making another 300-400 grand in upfront commissions, now all of a sudden you're rounding out to about 200 grand in your residual. For what? For bringing in 4 clients in 2 years. Did you catch that? Let me know in the chat. Did you catch that? For bringing in 4 clients in 2 years, you're now clearing 300-400 up front, plus you've got lifetime residual, as long as they stay with us, and most of them do. But to be clear, they have the option every year. We're not lifetime signing them, but they tend to just stay, okay? The only clients I've lost are ones that have went out of business or ones that have sold to China, and we can't get a hold of the parent company. They're just, we don't even know. They got sucked up by somebody. We can't even get a hold of anybody there. It's rare. Most of my clients that I've signed over the last 15 years are still with me. They still pay us every single month. Jack and the team are going to reach out here over the next couple of weeks. They're going to get their newest tax returns in, and that's that. And then I'm going to make 50 grand. Appreciate that production team. I hope they're not on right now because they may start asking for a portion of that. So I just want to tell you, that's just going to keep rolling over and over and over again. So that's manufacturing. Let's talk about the other side of the equation, Kendra. I thought that was a great tee up. Let's talk about the other side of that equation, Kendra.
We're going to talk about the commercial property ownership side. And again, we need to talk about why they're so important. We're looking at properties that are large. They have usually multiple locations, auto dealerships, hotels, especially auto dealerships. We're going to come back to that. You were supposed to jump in and help me.
I'm sorry.
Threw me off.
Yeah, no, I apologize. So, with these, You want to look for places that are multi-location. Okay,
Right.
so we talked about car dealerships, we talked about hotels.
One of the big things about
Yeah.
these, though, is that they are usually a part of like groups, and that's
Yeah.
where you can find out more about them. They're owned by like a lot of times property management groups are involved, so you can find information that way. You can easily find out who owns a commercial property just by public records and things of that nature. And again, I do want to point out again that you all are already working in this industry. You're already working with vendors and things of that nature for people that own commercial property. And one of the other things that I want to point out is, as far as cash flow, when it comes to people who own commercial property, they are on top of it. They are always trying to increase their cash flow. So when you're approaching them and you're discussing cash flow, it's not something that's new to them. It's not something that's uncommon. It's something that they're open to. Not only are they open to, they want it and need it.
So when you're looking at the types of industries to go focus on, and this is a grocery store chain, which Kendra, I think this is another great, you don't have to be a massive grocery store chain, but really, if you think about the type of commercial property that's going to own multiple locations, you're talking grocery store chains, industrial groups, commercial builders, restaurant groups, car dealerships, love car dealerships, hotel chains, love hotel chains. Didn't mean to, I just, they're all favorite.
Well, they're all good because when you're talking about these types of property owners, they're going to own multiple.
Yeah.
They're going to be open to some type of discussion about cash flow because that's just how their mindset is. And they're in every city
I like
in the
you've got
country.
apartment complexes.
Right.
We have an apartment complex group. I mean, they give us 3 or 4 cost segs
a year.
quarter.
Yeah.
No, quarter
yeah.
that they're
'Cause there's
sending
2.
over.
Yeah.
And talking about Nash's client.
Mhm.
And so, they're just, and I don't even know when the advisor brought this client in. It was years ago, but they just send them over as they acquire new properties. They're just sending them over as real estate transactions are happening. So let's look right now at a car dealership in Ohio. Okay. They had 27 locations. They didn't want to do cost seg on all of them up front. They want to spread it out over a couple of years. So they did a handful of those. Initial upfront commission, $87,000. Okay. But once again, that for a dealership like this, Kendra, they're always acquiring new properties. They're always selling things. They're always being forced to do renovations.
As I was going to say, the renovations are on like a cycle.
Yeah.
So there's constantly a location that's done renovations, or it's coming up, or it's just in need. So that's part of it. But they're also employ a lot of people. So we're looking at multiple credits when you're looking at it that way. So annually, you could be looking at upwards of 17,000 continuing to come in every year from a client of this nature.
Yeah. So not 182, but again, you bring in one manufacturer, that's 180 grand. You bring in one car dealership like this, you're another 80 grand. And here you're at over 70 grand a year in residual. That's just in 2 clients.
Right.
That's before you ever go out and visit their 2 CPAs and say, hey, what other clients can we work for? That's before you talk to their commercial builder that's doing their renovations. That's before you get into their network or anything like that. I got to tell you, if you're going after companies like this, you don't need mass volume. I'm giving you permission to literally do 2, 3, 4 clients a year. Okay. Because if you're going after clients like this, you're going to get so much off of the referral side of the equation that you'll be, in good shape there. Now I want to encourage you, in a few, we're going to take some Q&A. So I appreciate all the comments. I've been kind of keeping up on them here. Go ahead and insert questions. Heather will star them for us. So that shows up in a different folder. And then we get to Q&A. We'll kind of take some of those. But Kendra, I think one of the things that people would look at is, okay, what do I do? Now, if you walk into a single gas station, a single doctor's office, a restaurant with 2 properties, not what we're talking about today. Normally, what I would tell you to do is get them on your website. Okay. So get them going on your website. And on there, they're going to run a calculation. And you could be doing this in person, or you can email it to them. You're going to get them going, and on that, we'll give them a calculation. And then, Kendra, they just start using the tax management system. This is a great mechanism. It's the one we preach over and over and over again. And this is how you sign up your typical client. But, Kendra, if we're talking about going out there and getting 1,000 1,000 employee manufacturer, driving them to a website they may not just immediately funnel in. So I want you to change what you're selling, and it's actually not TMS. And here's what you're selling right here. You're selling a phone call. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. What you're selling is cash flow. That hasn't changed. But your methodology for it and what you're saying is you're saying that I want to set up a call. And that's really the essence of what we're doing there.
And you make it sound so easy, Ryan.
It is so
Just
easy.
sell a car. Let's get him on a call. But I want you to get real with advisors. Like there's conversations we have when we're on a broadcast and we're kind of more professional. We're talking, but talk to them and tell them, like, break it down and be real. How do you say it? What do you say to get them on a call? Like, I know this is what I'm asking myself if I were on your guys' end, and I feel like I can hear it through the chat and stuff like that. I think that's the question that they want to know. Like, be real with us, Ryan. What do we need to say?
Sounds good. I want to do two things. One is I'm going to answer that question. And two, I want you to answer that question. When you want to get someone on a call for any product, okay, it doesn't have to be ours. Okay, so everyone on this call, even if today's your first day, you have experience in this. This call is about Givers Gain. So I want you to type that for a minute. I'm not going to look at the responses for a couple minutes so I don't get distracted. But really, at the end of the day, if I'm talking to someone, first, I'm going to start with the people I know, to the degree that I can. And so, Kendra, I said it earlier, but it's really, how are things going? I don't believe, I'm going to do it the wrong way for a second. Hey, Kendra, how's it going? I'm
Good.
Ryan.
Hi.
We help companies find specialized tax incentives and da-da-da. Okay, I'm throwing up on you. And because of that, you're immediately going to be put off. Your guard is up, even if we've known each other for years.
Right.
Okay. But if you'll just take a moment and just talk to someone, okay?
Ask them about themselves.
Yeah.
That's what people want. People are interested in themselves, you guys.
So-
we're inherently selfish. We want someone to ask us about us so we
Let's
can talk
say-
about ourselves.
Kendra, I'm putting you on the spot. You're a manufacturer. We have never met. I'm making it tough. I managed to get an appointment with you because we know the same realtor. I'm literally making this up, guys. And so I walk in and this is our first. So, hey, Kendra, how are you?
That's good to meet you. I'm doing okay.
Yeah. So John was telling me a little bit of, John's the realtor, by the way. John was telling me a little bit of what you guys do here. And I was checking out the showcase. It looks like you make some headrest for Toyota and some of the other. That's impressive. How long have you guys been doing that?
For about 18 years.
Okay.
It's a family business. So
nice. Parking lot was quite full.
yeah.
Looks like you guys are, probably have quite the operation here.
I mean, things have been okay with how they look with the automobile industry in Michigan right now. I'm not really sure this year how things are going to go. I don't know if you heard, like, GM's taking a hike. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous about this year.
What about that makes you nervous?
I mean, that's the basis. If they go, then everybody else kind of follows. And then I'm just like, what do we do at that point? Do I have to move my operation out of the state as well?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just lots of questions.
Remember what I said earlier, all you have to do is talk about anything and you will start to get into nervousness, cash flow, peace of mind, these types of problems. And all you have to do is be patient enough to wait to jump in to the dialogue of what you do. So at some point when she gets to cash flow, here's my pivot. Here's what I'm going to do. Are you ready? Watch for it. Well, you guys probably took PPP and all that a few years ago. That had to help out with this
The
cash
COVID
flow.
stuff. Yeah. I mean,
See what I did there?
without it,
I brought up tax money that she's familiar with, that she took and she already spent. Okay. They all took it. They all spent it. Nobody has it left over. Just bring it up. And what you're going to get is this emotional roller coaster for a second. Yep, that felt good. Oh, I don't have that anymore. Okay, let's try that again. So, well, I mean, you guys had to have taken PPP and ERC and some of those other acronyms that they came out with. I mean that must have kind of offset things for you.
The COVID money was a Band-Aid. Yeah, for sure. I was glad we got it, but it doesn't fix long-term issues at all.
Now here's the turn. Watch for it. Well, actually, that's, what we do. PPP was a specialized program. It came out. But unfortunately, it kind of came and went in a very short period of time. But there are hundreds of programs been around for decades. And what we've done is we've developed software that helps businesses see what kind of credits you qualify for. Now, as a manufacturer, I can tell you there's a lot of credits available for you.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm in. .me. Okay. Now, once I do that, there's a couple of things. If this is a smaller company, then I'm just going to get them going and start saving them today. If this is a 1,000 employee company, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting this away. You ready? Watch for it again. So you guys had to take PPP and ERC and some of those. I mean, that had to help, right?
Yeah, the COVID money, it was a Band-Aid, but I mean, as far as fixing long-term issues, it's not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's actually one of the things our company does is we help manufacturers find cash flow. There are hundreds of programs available. And actually, what I'd like to do is if we can book a 15-minute phone call, I'll have one of our experts look for which programs you'd qualify for, which tax credits you could, have coming into you, and that kind of.
And they can do that in about 15 minutes because it's not information that I could ever find.
No, it's this is all we do. Now, I want to give you one other pivot. Let's say that Kendra is a manufacturer. I am her real estate agent. We've known each other. Our kids play soccer together, all these other things. And Kendra, I really don't feel like I have any business talking to you about tax credits because I'm Ryan the realtor, right? And if I'm like, hey, look, a gold watch, hey, a tax credit, hey, like you're going to feel kind of like what's going on here. And let me just out of curiosity, anyone on the call feel you're in that position where you're like, I know clients, but I'm someone else to them. Does that make sense? So if you're in that situation, first of all, let me know because I like to know, but I want to show you that. So a little bit different. So, hey, Kendra, how's it been going?
It's been going good. How are you?
Good. I saw that your youngest got off to college. So
yeah, finally.
Georgetown, you must be doing better than I.
I mean, I'm budgeting.
Yeah.
Doing good. Good.
So, I mean, how's things looking for 2025? I mean, parking lot looked full out there. You guys look like you're...
I mean, we're doing well. I mean, everybody could always be doing better, but we're doing really good. We're just trying to, we got to watch with it having been an election year last year. We were kind of, real nervous about where to spend money. And so we're just kind of still riding that wave a little bit.
Yeah. Now, you guys, I mean, you had to have taken like all that PPP and ERC money and stuff like that. I mean, did that help?
During the pandemic? Yeah, it helped a little bit. I mean, everybody got it, so we took it too. And it helped. I mean, we were in super need. We're still doing great, but I mean, free money's free money, right?
Yeah. Are you guys doing the other programs that are set up for Michigan manufacturers and things like that?
I mean, I'm not really aware of anything right now.
Right here. Watch for it. I got a buddy. See what I'm doing there? You follow me? I got a buddy that's what he does. He works with the Michigan Manufacturers Association, works a lot of manufacturing companies. He helps them find tax credits just for manufacturers. We should set up a call. He's helped like a ton of my clients.
All right.
Okay. There's no wrong approach here. You want to be the expert? No problem. Watch 2 hours worth of our training. You're the expert. Okay. You want to be in partnership with the expert? No problem. Okay. Know a little bit, bring someone else in for the rest. You want to be totally hands off and have a buddy? Okay. Kate Johnson, she's my team leader. Okay. She's my buddy. Okay. It's that simple. Okay. And you can just say, I got a buddy. Her name's Kate and she knows all about this stuff. She's tapped into more manufacturing tax credits than everything else. And, she's been able to help most of my clients, that kind of thing. No problem. You want to be arm's distance? Here's the cool part. Kendra, if someone, let's go back to, I'm going to steal your mouse for a second. We're going to old school today. We had to get a mouse because the Bluetooth went out on the, so on this client right here, I'm going to go all the way back to it. Little pop quiz you didn't even know about. So oh man, I'm really messing this up. Okay. This client right here, if I, as the advisor, am the complete expert, I handle everything. Kate never gets on a single call with me. I do the works. I sell this guy soup to nuts, that kind of thing. How much do I make?
Same, 182.
Okay. If I partner with Kate, Kate's my team leader, by the way. If I partner with Kate and, I go through and I do some of the pitch and Kate and I, we tag team it. We do some follow-up together, that kind of thing. How much do I make?
182.
If Kate's my buddy and all I do is set up a phone call and I sit back and mute out and I'm just Ryan the realtor and Kate's my buddy and I let her do all the pitch, how much money do I make?
182.
Okay. So listen, whatever approach you think is going to get you the most money, this is the one that you want to do, because at the end of the day, all we really care about, all Chris and Kate and Dan and everybody else care about, is getting into that client. So with a client like this, Kendra, that's, over 100 grand, or over 1,000 employees and over 180 grand in commissions at stake. What do you want to do? You want to get them on with your buddy Chris. You want to get them on with your buddy Dan. You want to get them on with your buddy Kate. And forgive me to all of our other account managers and team leaders if I didn't privately name you. So everyone on here knows how to get these deals done for you. So Kendra, let's talk through, I know we kind of just did a little bit, but let's talk through the pitch. Okay. You gotta let people know that you have access to billions of dollars.
And then what that means for you is you have access to millions, because we take a portion of what we get for our clients. And that's what you actually need to wrap your mind around, the fact that you can be making that much money. And it is very possible, as long as we're narrowing our focus and we're keeping ourselves on track and doing what we need to do.
Yeah, that at the end of the day, whichever way you want to say you have access, if you want to be the expert, be the expert. You want to partner with the expert, you're partially the expert, that's fine. You want to not really know anything about this and you got a buddy, I got to tell you, Chris and Kate and Dan and everybody else, they don't really care how you position them. No. You guys can be friends. You can be buddies. It can be an expert. They can be a subject matter expert. I don't think Chris cares what you call him, as long as you get him on the phone with someone that he can go through and talk to. So, kind of understanding what that is. This is what you're trying to do at the end of the day. But Kendra, we got to take a look at the mechanism for how you're going to do it. How are you going to actually book this call? So Heather, if you want to flip over to my laptop, we will show how to do this. Maybe. There we go. So I'm at the toolbox right now. We'll post a link to this here in a little bit. So I can't post it now because you'd all jump over to that.
Right.
When I'm on the toolbox, there's a lot of tools here. And in fact, one of the things I'll show for a second, you've got your book a call landing page. So let me first show you that this is a blueprint. And if I scroll far enough, then, there's these links here, and that's going to take me to some of the book a call landing page. But actually, I'm sorry. What I really want to show is under my landing pages. So if I come here, I want to talk about two landing pages that everyone has access to. The first one is your general calculator page. Kendra, this is the page I would use for, you got a manufacturer that's got 200 employees, you got a car dealership with one location.
Right.
This is the site I would use for this.
And this is a landing page, and that's what it's designed for. Any basic client to get their attention, get them in, get them to the calculator, which is the second page of this landing page, and get them through this and get them in and using TMS. It's great. We redesigned it about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
From its original design, it works amazingly. We love it. It's not going anywhere. Landing page is available to everyone.
Yeah, depending on time of year, it has a 30 to a 37.5% conversion rate once someone gets through the calculator.
Which is crazy
to
amazing.
Actually go on to pay us.
Yeah.
Great mechanism. For the type of client we're talking about right now, we talked about booking a call. There's a couple ways to do that. Everybody on this call has a booking, a
book
booking
a call
link.
landing page. Yeah.
For those of you that are in premium, which I think is most people, in other words, if you're in basic or advanced or premium, those are variations of our marketing program, then I want to show you a new tool that we have available. And let me be really clear about something. I'm not on this call to sell you premium. Okay. A lot of you are already in premium. And so what we've done, premium is something to get you access to explainer videos, HTML, email marketing templates, things like that. But I don't want anybody to leave here today and say, oh, the only way we can book a call. No, everyone here has a call booking link. But we do have something special for those that are in premium. This is not a commercial for premium. I think most people on this call are already in it. But you've got a brand new Premium Advisor website. So Kendra, everybody's had cost seg pages, R&D pages,
right,
hotel landing pages, all these things. What we've done for the first time is bring these all together in a site, okay?
Cohesive
not a
website,
page,
right?
but a cohesive website.
Right. So we've had all of these different landing pages for, like Ryan mentioned, whatever service you wanted to utilize, whether it be COSEG, R&D, WOTC, when we were doing ERC, we had those as well, or just TMS. And we also have industry specific pages. And a lot of times, especially when your newer partners come to us, like, which page do I use? What do I send? How do I attract people? And what we've done is we've pulled all of those landing pages together and created one cohesive website that you have access to. And we can send this out and utilize it for every type of client because it's got something that's going to attract anybody. It's got your service pages for the different individual services. It's also got the industries. And when you hover over that, there's a new menu bar at the top. So when you hover over industries, you've got those listed there. And as we add more industries, they'll appear there as well.
You got your explainer videos.
Your explainer videos
in.
are all there. Everything coming together and working as one major tool instead of having to use them individually, which there's nothing wrong with. And you do have access to do that if you wish. But this is one cohesive site. And it kind of all culminates, Ryan, with where you're at right now.
Now, everyone, regardless of premium or not, has a booking page. Okay. However, your booking page is integrated into your website, your full functioning website. And this is what we've been talking about. So everyone has access to a booking page. That's not a premium feature. The part that's premium is having one cohesive site because we recognize as you get someone here, they may want to go look up the individual service and kind of look at it. They may want to look at some other client examples. We've got testimonials and client case studies peppered throughout the site. They may want to look at their specific industries, which we continually build out so they can see specifically what we can do for a manufacturer. But Kendra, the part I want to talk about is this one right here. Let's talk. Everyone has either a standalone page of this or it's integrated on your new super site. When you get to this, there's a couple of ways that you could be going through this. Way number one is that you're in person, like I was just showing, and you go through and you've got this page bookmarked and you simply come down here and you say, okay, let's book a call. Now, this is going to give you live calendar access. If you're in premium, one of the things you also have is a team leader, a dedicated team leader. So this actually links to your team leader's booking calendar live in real time. Okay, another great feature that you're able to do. So everyone that's in premium, you also have a dedicated team leader, and that dedicated team leader, this is their live booking calendar. So if I'm in person, I'm Ryan, the realtor, and I'm saying, hey, let's book, a call with my buddy Kate. And we go through and we pull this up and, we're going to feature it right there. Or, I'm Ryan, the savings expert. But, I'm going to bring in my manufacturing subject matter expert, Dan, or whatever the case is. And
you get to make up who's going to help you if you want them to help you.
Yeah. So, this will go through. You're going to answer a couple of questions. Now, again, you could be in person doing this. You could be on the phone with them and you're filling it out. You could be on the phone with them and you email it to them and they fill it out. Or you could just send them their page and say, hey, get this booked. That one I think is going to get the lowest response. It's like ping pong and you just whack it over there and hope they hit it back there. So I'd recommend you be on the phone, you be in person, you at least talk to them and say, hey, Joe, let's get something booked. Let's get something set up. But you've got this great site and they can kind of thumb around and look at that. And that is found right within your toolbox.
It was one of the questions. Where do we find this? So you can access the book a call, either landing page on its own, right there in your toolbox, or go to my landing pages and use it through your main website.
Heather, I see some people asking, how do I know if I'm in premium? Can you post a link for that? It'll do a quick check. And let me sell against myself for a minute. You don't need premium. Okay. If you're not in premium, if premium's not in your budget and you're like, I don't really want to do premium. We've given you a whole marketing toolbox. We've given you landing pages. We've given you a booking page. You have everything. No one leave here and say, I could be successful if I had premium. But a lot of you are in premium. So I'm also not going to apologize for continuing to give tools to the people. What premium is, you're basically investing in the marketing department so that we can have a multi-person staff that works under Kendra that creates new marketing tools all the time. And some of those tools cost a lot of money to make. And we,
To answer, there's still a little question. We got to this is a question. Only premium members can book calls. No, everybody has a book a call landing page. If you're asking this question, you probably haven't been to your toolbox. So take some time after today's call, go get into your toolbox, locate your landing page. Every single person has a book a call landing page. You have, all different landing pages available to you. So if you're asking that question, you really need to get in and get familiarized with what tools are available to you in your marketing toolbox, because you have a lot there and available to you.
Heather just posted a lookup tool. I have it on the screen now. You can go to that link and it's going to ask for your advisor ID or your username and password. It's going to look up. It'll tell you, congratulations, you're in, or you're not. And you could get in if you wanted, although that's not what this is about. If you're not in premium, that's okay. You still, right on your homepage of your toolbox, your book a call landing page. Everyone has a book a call landing page. Okay. You can still use that. Kendra, I want to scroll back and look at, I'd posed out the question to people.
You guys can't see it, but it's Q&A time. I have a blinking image over here.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure if you've been holding back any questions or if something has occurred to you, it's time. Go ahead and put it there in the chat box, and we'll try to get to as many as we possibly can.
Yeah. And Kendra, I'm trying to scroll up. Earlier I said, how would you get in front of, or what would you say?
I love this one. While you're looking for that, I'm going to share Grayman.
Yeah.
Grayman, he's worked with all of our tools. He gives us feedback on them sometimes. He says, get in. All the tools are in the toolbox. Familiarize yourself with the landing pages and toolbox. Write it down, make notes, and make it fit your pitch style. I love that, because just because something's in there doesn't mean that the scripting and stuff is going to match your personality or, be your vibe. So take the tools that we've given you and adjust it to fit who you're talking to, the way you talk, your style, your vibe.
Absolutely. We got so many questions in here. I think, we're going to need to start jumping into those. Although I do want to, Grayman, I like this. So have your laptop ready, walk through the quick calculator, and then it only takes 3 or 4 high level, and we can see what they qualify for. Then register them at the end to move forward. Yeah, you're going to find, especially with small, mid-sized clients, they're just ready to go. They're ready to jump in. I think we've already answered this, but how do we contact the schedule for the discovery calls? In the past, the large clients need to sign up first. So again, Heather, you can put my screen back up. You can you've got access to your Let's Talk page by going through here, or you can get people directly over to your site. So you could email them your site. And in fact, I'll post this link right now just to everybody. I think people are wondering. So in the comments there, that is what I just posted is your link, but go to it first, do the lookup part, and it'll put your number there. You don't want to actually send out the one that says /lookup. You want that to have your number. So it'll do that lookup for you, but it's Let's-Talk, and that is your Let's Talk page. So for those of you that have the full premium website, that's going to take them here where they can book, or they can browse around and kind of see case studies, testimonials, explainer videos, and things like that. So that's how you're going to get people.
Great question on the book a call thing. This is from Brian. If a client books a call, are we notified of the scheduled call?
Yes.
The way the system works is actually not only are you notified, you get an email. You
get a calendar invite.
Yeah, you're invited. You're a part of it no matter what. So
as long as your email is hooked to Google, Hotmail, Microsoft Teams, whatever your, Brian at, if it's at Gmail or whatever the case is, I would imagine it has some calendaring involved. Most email boxes do. So as long as you have that, it's actually going to add it right to your calendar.
RC has a question too. So RC says, who are we actually setting up the call with? He was confused, who is the expert on the other end of the call?
So I could take this 2 ways. One is, who are you setting up the call with? This is your team leader or a subject matter expert. That's who from our side is going to be on the call. If you're saying, who are we setting the call up with? Depending on the size of the company, this could be a controller, a comptroller, CFO. Could be the president if it's a small enough company. Could be someone in the accounting department, anything like that. So whoever your contact is with, that would be a good one. I do have one, Kendra, I want to touch on. Wouldn't they have their accountant handle this going forward? No. I can see where you might think that. You might think, well, wait a minute, I've got a client. Heather, you can ditch my screen for now. I've got a client and I sign them up and we do the initial study, and then the CPA is like, oh, I'll just do the R&D credit going forward. But that doesn't happen because it's an engineering approach that we're taking. In fact, we get kind of the opposite. Usually when we get a report over to a CPA, we're able to extract more clients for that CPA because they'll have dozens of other manufacturers that they work with. So
usually we get, hey guys, you guys did a really great job for such and such. I've got like 4 manufacturers. Do you mind doing the R&D calculations for them as well? That's usually what happens. They're not out there seeking to look and do these credits for their clients. They're out there ready to process and get them filed for their taxes.
James, this is a good one. Don't large groups have people who do this? What I tend to find is that when you get into property management groups, it's kind of a hit or miss on whether or not they already have a firm. Even if that's the case, they tend to not have a full service firm. They might have a cost seg firm, or someone might have an R&D firm, but they don't generally have someone that can do full service for them. So that's our competitive advantage. But James, outside of that, when you're actually getting into large, public groups or large property management groups that are maybe publicly traded or have, outside investment capital. Outside of that, we don't tend to find that people are doing it. James, you will find people that have done it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to watch out for. You talk to an apartment complex, an apartment group, and they're adding new properties, and you say, have you done cost seg? The answer is yes. Have you done cost seg on all your properties? No, maybe they did it on 1 or 2, and then they got busy and never thought to do it as a follow-up.
That question kind of leads in with Rich too. He said, I get a lot of, my accountant does that for me, I'm good. How do you slow them down and overcome that? I've seen Ryan do this. The next thing he'll say is, oh, that's great. How much did you get?
Yeah.
And if they can't answer that question,
how much did you get? Or I'll say, how much did you get last year?
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh, well, no, this was like 5 years ago. Okay.
So you have to don't let that stop the conversation. That's great. How much were you able to get last year? Was that for cost segregation, or are you talking about the R&D tax credit? And if they can't give you a number, because they'll know if they actually did it, they'll know what their benefit was or thereabout, then you can say, actually, let's just take a look because I can show you what you should have gotten or kind of around. And if you didn't, then maybe you should take a look at this.
Yeah. Another good one, and I hear this one come up a lot. Rick wants to know, do you give the CPA a cut for the referral? This is a tricky one. I will tell you that most CPAs don't want to cut. And in fact, then they get kind of squeamish about it if you offer it. So my approach with CPAs is I don't say anything unless they ask me. And I'm talking maybe 1 out of every 300 or 400 will bring up something. They'll say, oh, do you have a revenue share program or something like that? And that's usually because they work at a firm that's, forward thinking in that manner. But most individual CPAs, they kind of feel like it's crossing a line a little bit. So personally, Rick, I wouldn't bring it up. Not only will it save you money, but you may come across in a way that, you don't want to. So good question there. Does anyone have any question? We're going to answer some more questions. So guys, what do you need in order to be able to go out there and get 1,000 employee manufacturing company? Okay. The right way to do it. You could go watch R&D trainings if you want on our training channel. You're welcome to do that. Or you could just book a call, and kind of tee it up and let, your team leader kind of be the expert. They're well equipped for doing this. So, you've got everything. What do you need? What do you need from us? We're on for maybe 10, 12 more minutes. What do you need from us? What do you need from your team leader? What do you need in order to be able to do this? Because at the end of the day, if you just say, oh, that's cool and that's that, then we just all wasted an hour of our lives, you included. Okay. The point in this is that you go out there and you put your team leader in front of a commercial property that has 5, 10, 20 locations, or you put them in front of a manufacturer that's got, let me just lower the bar for you, 500, 1,000, whatever the case is. What do you need? In fact, Kendra, we need to switch to the next slide here. And Heather, put slides up for a second, just before people have to start going. Listen, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and then we're going to answer some more questions. So Kendra, go over this a little bit. We've got a little commission bonus that's going on.
Yep. So if you book a call between now and the 24th of January,
that's next Friday,
our cutoff. So a couple weeks, and it turns into a deal, you're going to earn an additional 2.5% commission on top of what you'd normally get for your first year of R&D, in addition to, this one's really big, an additional 5% 5% commission on top of what you'd normally earn for any cost segregation first property. So that's a pretty decent commission bonus for, I'm calling it first quarter. So it runs through January 24th. That's when we want you to get your call booked. Your call has to take place between now and January 24th for you to be able to qualify for this commission bonus.
So you go out there, what you need to do is just need to get your team leader on with someone, and let me kind of spell this out a little bit, Kendra, just because people, maybe if this is one of their first deals or something like that, or if they're new, they're like, I don't know what that means. Kendra, at the end of the day, for that example we showed earlier, you just added almost $50,000 in commission on 1,000 employee
on top
company.
Of what you'd already get, right?
Okay. So really what that, like on the commission example we showed earlier,
guys.
Kendra just gave you an extra 50 grand if you get them in front of your team leader in the next 2 weeks. That's really what that comes down to.
We had a question. What does first property mean? A lot of our clients will have multiple properties. So with the commission bonus, your bonus is on the first. If they have one property, it's the whole thing. If there's multiple properties, it's the first one of the group.
Yeah. So you'll go through, you do that. These deals would need to close by April 30th. And so, yeah, we'll go in and do that. Heather, you're good. You can get rid of that. We'll go
no,
into
Lisa
some more
has
questions.
a question. She says, does it have to consist of R&D and cost seg? No. If it's just cost seg, you'll get cost seg. If it's R&D, you get R&D. If it's both, you get both.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the biggest commission bonuses we've done for initially kicking off a year. Just want to let you guys know that, because we have every confidence in you guys. Sometimes just having a little bit of initiative and fire burning behind you makes you get out there and work a little bit harder. So,
Larry, good question. I've got a buddy so here's what I said. I'm going to try to say it the way I said it, because I got a buddy that works with manufacturers and helps them find tax incentives. I really like to personalize, like Midwest, Michigan, Southeast Florida. I just personally like that aspect of it. So
it makes it more realistic. It makes it impactful for them when you're using their area.
Yeah.
Or their industry.
I've got a colleague, her name's Kate, and she works with plastics manufacturers, really any manufacturers, but she's got a special place in her heart for plastics recycling manufacturers in Texas. And no, don't get that specific, but I got a colleague, her name's Kate, and she works with manufacturers. She does something really interesting. She helps them find tax credits, because even though PPP is gone, there's these programs that have been around for like 20, 30 years. And she's like tapped in at the highest level in those. I like the buddy approach because, there's less, I don't know the right way to word it.
It just seems more approachable.
Yeah. Kate's my buddy too. Kate, are you on today? Say hi if you're on. Kate hasn't piped in at all. I bet she's on a call right now. So that's the buddy approach. But the hybrid approach works great. And honestly, it's the one that most people use. So don't sweat it if you got it. Kendra, you see some more questions?
Yeah. Terry said, he's sorry if you missed this, but how do you coordinate a time? When you're using the link for book a call, that syncs. The calendar it's looking at is either a subject matter expert or your team leader. So those times that are available that you're looking at, that's all you need. You don't have to coordinate anything. The system is going to look at their calendar and coordinate that for you.
We're kind of home stretch here. Going to get you off the call here in a moment. Just trying to get as many questions in as possible.
Dave asks, what about past client cards that never got off the ground? Revisit them.
Yes.
Right now. We talked about that at the beginning of this call. Right now is when you want to be revisiting them. And seeing as they have a client card, you've somehow connected with them in some way, play off of that and say, hey, we weren't able to connect, back whenever, but I really want to talk to you because.
Yeah. Phil, great question. I'm glad you asked this because I don't think I explained it well at all. Why would a commercial builder be a prospect for CostSeg? They are the best referral partners because every contract that they do, every project they do is a great fit. And I'm going to take the same approach. If Kendra is a commercial builder, I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to ask her how business is going. She's going to say slow. I'm going to say what's going on. And she's going to say, well, it's just hard to get bids through because clients don't have cash flow. Clients don't have access to capital. Interest rates are too high. She's going to tell me why she's struggling as a commercial builder. Okay. And say, really? I would think you guys would be booming with all the commercial property tax credits that are available. See, I got there. Let me say that again, Phil, because I think this is a really good thing that everyone could drive in on. If you have access to or know a commercial builder, you just talk to them. How's it going? What kind of projects do you guys have coming up? They're going to tell you that they're struggling right now to get bids done because interest rates are high, access to capital is limited, all these other things. You're going to act surprised and say, well, wouldn't your clients just be tapping into all the tax incentives that are available and using that capital to do your project with? Or the opposite, Kendra's like, I'm slammed. We're doing like 30 car dealerships, Yeah, I bet all those tax credits are really helping. What tax credits? Okay, either way. Now, I will tell you, Phil, that almost every commercial builder I've ever worked with did ask for a cut. Don't be afraid of that. Kick them a few points. I don't even get real formal in a referral. I'll say, yeah, no problem. What they really want out of it, though, they're not looking just for like a side hustle, even though everyone's looking for a side hustle. In addition to that, they're looking to get their own work done. Okay. So what Kendra's really looking for, if she's a commercial builder, is more projects to be done because that's her core business of what she makes money. You're going to help her do that by freeing up money. How do you do that? You say, oh, well, yeah, listen, if you've got any projects you're working on, I can do a feasibility. I can help find the credits for it. What about projects that you have actively going right now? Because Phil, you don't want to be in later money mode, for the projects they're bidding. You want to move into projects that you completed last year. And then you move in. Well, if they're like, oh, we did the new Harley Davidson dealership over on, West Beach Road, or whatever the case is. Now all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, for a property. And then here's the great part. You ask a commercial builder, you say, okay, so dealership, how much was the renovation on that? They say 3.7 million, 3.6. Yeah, for a client like that, we can get you one of these. Okay. I actually have all three iPads. It's pathetic. But they all have different. I've been loving it's no affiliate. I've been loving the iPad mini. I think it's so, easy to just go out there and be talking to people, and it's better than a phone, and you can just always be on, and you can say, oh, so if you're talking to a builder, Phil, you just say, oh, dealership. Okay. Yeah. Well, how much was it? Oh, a Ford dealership. What was the renovation on that? You're just showing them right there. Calculator. Boom. Okay. Love this. Make sure to get the cellular version. Nothing more pathetic than saying, could you get me connected to your Wi-Fi? Yeah. All right. Kendra, if we might have time for one more question, if you see one. I think while you're looking for one, I'm going Basil just because I love that name. That is such a great name. Kate. Hi, Kate. How are you?
She's here.
You're my buddy. Kate, do you mind if I call you my buddy? Is that okay? So, Kate, for everyone who you're the team leader for, how do you usually tell them to tee you up for a call? I'll come back to that in a minute. Kate, you can type that in the chat. Basil, I haven't even read your question. I just love the name. So, but I hope it's Basil and not a different pronunciation. What's the best carrot to dangle in front of a company or owner that owns a number of hotels? I need to make him drool to put his CPA in the call. I love this. The only thing I would say, Basil, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, is I wouldn't want the CPA on the call. I would want him on the call. So, and what I would say is, so if you, let's say you know this person, Kendra, you're going to be a hotel owner. I'm going to have my iPad because I like it so much. And so I'm just going to say, so owns multiple hotels. So Kendra, I was on your website. You guys have 13 locations now. That's
Right.
crazy. How are things going?
Busy, very busy.
Yeah. So, and somehow we get at some point, she says cash flow. She says hurt. She says we need a new pool. Somebody's suing me right now. Whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. Okay. At some point, she can express some hurt. Well, you guys probably took that PPP money a few years ago. I mean, that must have helped, right?
Right. That COVID money it helped, but I mean, that's long gone.
Are you guys doing all the other programs then? I mean, there's been programs for hotels for the last 20 years.
Like what?
Well, there's federal programs just for owning a hotel. Also, because you employ people here in the state of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not tapped into those, I've actually got a colleague. Her name's Kate, and this is what she does. She works with hotel groups, large and small, and she finds them. She does all my clients. So
Really?
I'm surprised you guys haven't done this.
No, I mean, we've talked to some people in the past, but we did like that WotC stuff, but it was too hard to do.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. So. Somebody maybe tapped into it a little bit, but it hasn't done other. Listen, let me get you set up with Kate. She's pretty busy because we're in tax season right now, but let me get you going. I can book you right in your calendar right now for a 10-minute call. So,
all right, shouldn't be a problem.
How's Tuesday? And boom, I'm in. Kate, did you reply? She says, "Hey, buddy." So, Chris, no non-love for you. You're my buddy too, by the way. So I just, so that's it. I wouldn't shoot for the CPA. Let them drag their CPA in at a later time.
She answered.
Here we go. So I like this. This is why Kate's my buddy. So she came up with a way better answer than I would have. So yeah, listen, I know there's going to be a ton of questions. Let's do this. And to respect your time, I want to get a member of my team. I can jump on about a 10-minute call. I'm looking. She's got Tuesday available, at 10 a.m. How's that work for you? I love that. Kate, we're just going to leave that on the screen for a minute. So this is good. This is how you introduce your team leader. And if any of the other team leaders have anything you want to pipe in, always, feel free. I was just kind of picking on Kate today because I like to. So, because Kate's my buddy. So I like that. Again, you get to this point where they're asking you questions like, she's like, what type of programs? And that's where it's perfect, because there comes a certain point where you got to shut it down or you're going to get an information overload. Right. So I like this transition here. Well, listen, I think you're going to have some questions, and Kate's really kind of best positioned for this. Let's do this. To respect your time, I'm going to set up a time with Kate here. I'm looking. She's available Tuesday at 10. I think it's going to take like 10 minutes, for you to get on. She'll actually be able to in real time calculate what programs as a Massachusetts employer you'll qualify for. And she can look into the federal programs that are available for your 14 properties. That's all you're doing, right? Because at the end of the day, you want Kate to get in there and sell this deal for you. You want Chris, you want Dan, you want them to get in there and close this deal for you, so that you can step back and kind of get out of the way there. So go ahead. Oh, I thought you had another one. So
no. We do have a couple action items. And
yeah, Kate said, always acknowledge what they have going on. Very important. So, all right. So that's kind of it. Really, at the end of the day, your action item, Kendra, I'll let you walk through it, but you're going to get people, I think you can guess, get people on the phone this week and next, because you just got a 25% bonus.
Exactly. So if you're going to be busy right now.
Yeah.
For the reasons we talked about earlier in the beginning of the call, all of those reasons, the mindsets where our clients are at, and the fact that you have the potential to make a substantial amount of money by narrowing your focus. And we're going to give you some extra money if you can get that done in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I just reposted your link for everyone so that you know. I'll put that up on the screen here.
If you have questions too about your toolbox, about what's available to you, all you have to do is reach out to support. That's what they're there for. If you're not in there and you're not using them, the toolbox was made for you. It's made by a team of highly qualified marketing. We have several different people on the team.
Yeah.
But it's some great tools. So make sure you're getting in there and familiarizing yourself with it. They're just going to make you more successful.
When you go to this page, it's either going to ask you for your 6-digit ID or your username and password, and then it's going to produce that for you. That is your booking link. Okay. The let's-talk/your number. That's your booking link. That's where you're going to send people. So, at the end of the day, Kendra, really what you're asking is this week and next week, go get people on the phone because you have a huge bonus incentive to get you out there and do it. So thank you, everybody. We didn't go that far over.
No, not too far over. So welcome to 2025. Let's make it your most profitable year ever.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.